What's going on, traders? What's going on, everybody? So I just want to get right into this weekly forecast. All right, it's been a lot of volume that's been coming into the market. Interesting times, that we're in when it comes to a lot of pairs are at really all time, like not all time highs, but at yearly highs. Like the highest has been in like 5 years, 7 years. So we're seeing a lot of pairs push into major levels of potential supply and demand. And starting here with the dollar index, you can see that the dollar index, I'm looking at this monthly chart. So the dollar index has reached back past this top that it made here in March of 2020. Price surpassed that and broke past. But you see now here on a weekly, it's looking like we are starting to get that sell-off. Price is now breaking back down, back below this level of supply. This monthly candle closes in about 2 days. So it's looking like, as of right now, if it was a close like this will be considered a bearish shooting star. So a bearish shooting star will signify a potential reversal, especially, or a potential bearish sell-off, especially when you see it at this level of supply like this. So we can look at that and say, you know what, that could be setting up to move even lower. All right, the higher the time frame we see this on, the stronger it is. So we can go down to the weekly. We can see on the weekly that before price made its reversal, because if it's at first, price was like, boom, it broke past the high, making higher highs. And then after that, you see here on a weekly chart, we got a bearish engulfing right here, which signified that the sellers are coming in. Price continued to sell off after that. And now looking to the left, price broke back below this level of supply. So that could be a sign that the dollar is potentially looking to have a stronger rollover. All right. So overall, as of right now, looking at this, I'm still bearish on the dollar. Last week, the dollar was bearish. We could still potentially see some bearish plays come in. All right. So as of right now, we look at the smaller time frame. We can see our lower lows and lower highs. So if price continues right here on the dollar index, the price continues to break down, making lower lows within structure, then continue to expect more potential moves to the downside. And the reason why I look at the dollar index, and it's a heavy part of my confluence, is when if I'm looking to trade dollar pairs, or if you're looking to trade dollar pairs, make sure you understand what the dollar index is doing, because it's going to help you. Normally, if you see the dollar index selling off strong, then Euro USD is shooting up. GBPUSD is likely shooting up. All USD is likely shooting up. NCD USD, right? You'll see that healthy correlation going in line with the weakness of the dollar versus the strength of the dollar. So the dollar index is inverse of like Euro USD, GBPUSD, AUD USD. Now, if you see the dollar pumping heavy, then chances are Euro USD is selling down, right? AUD USD is selling down, vice versa. So you're looking at the dollar pairs to do, go in line with that from an inverse perspective, depending on how the currency pair is lined up. All right. Hope that makes sense. So seeing that, if the dollar continues to be bearish, we can anticipate certain moves on the other pairs. So we'll just see how things develop going into this week. Keep in mind, this is NFP week as well. We could look at this. We could see fundamentals this week. Tuesday, we got some GDP for the AUD. Wednesday, rate decisions, rate statement for the Canadian dollar. Then we got job openings, manufacturing for USD. All right. Thursday is what I like to call pre-NFP, non-farm employment change. They're forecasting it to be added jobs compared to the previous, so we'll see how that thing develop. And then Friday, NFP. All right, you got non-farm employment change, unemployment rate, and all the numbers coming in. So we'll see how those numbers affect what's going to happen in the market. But for the most part, price action is king. All right, you're going to see normally fundamentals just accelerate what's already likely to happen based off of price action. All right, so let's see. Let's look at Euro USD. All right, so looking at Euro USD, we can look at this on a monthly. So looking at this buy size of price has been selling off from this top. Major sell-off. And that's why you always look left to go right, because price just repeats itself. All price did was come back over to this level of structure. If we look to the left here, this was a major previous level of support or demand. All right. It turned resistance or supply at this top, sold off heavy down into that level of demand. When price made its way back up here, formed this double top and sold off heavy again. All right. So that was a major point of structure. And I will have a structure like this drawn in because I'm identifying, okay, how price action reacts from here. That's going to tell me which direction I should trade it. All right. So now what price is doing now is now having a rebound back to the upside. That's what it did this past week. So if you look to the left, all right, all price did was it rejected from this level of demand. If you look to the, I always say look to the left to go right. Here in the past, when price found support in this area, we had a major bounce. So price came right back down to this area and it's starting to bounce again. All right. So you see this monthly candle forming. This monthly candle is starting to form and it will close in 2 days. All right. So if we go down to the weekly chart, all right, you can see price found solid support and continue to rise. Now, looking to the left, I like to spot, certain levels of structure, strong levels of structures. So now on the weekly, I would actually also identify this level of demand. Price found strong support here in the past and bounced up because where price is currently at is roughly at that same level. So I will look at this level here. All right, I could draw this in as a potential point of structure to see how price react here. All right. So boom, price is now pushed back into this level of demand. Okay. So a price has some type of strong rejection from this level, then I will trade accordingly because this is a level that you expect the reaction from. All right. Either breaking it and continuing up or strong rejection and possibly giving you opportunity for a corrective, a move continue to the downside. All right. So if we go down to like the daily or even the 4-hour, all right, we could clearly see. Let me zoom this over. We can see how price had his move up. All right, so I can take my trend line here as well. All right, we can clearly see that this move is to the upside. All right. Now, if I look at it like this, okay, I already drew that zone in. So if price breaks above here and makes another higher high here within structure, the chances are we could see price continue up. But if price was to have a strong rejection here, breaking that structure and breaking back below that level, that zone that I've drawn in as demand, then we possibly can get another move to the downside. So we'll just play it based off of that. All right. Now, if price continues to move up, the next point of structure I would look for price to come to is roughly around here. All right. So if price continues to, let's say, form a higher high in structure here, maybe on a pullback or the retest, and we could look for the continuation up. All right. And keep in mind that will go in line with the weak dollar. So if the dollar stays weak, the chances this week, then chances are the EU will continue to move to the upside. All right. So you just got to play that out and see how that develops. Now, price could just continue up. All right. Something like this can happen. It's either one or two things. It's either price can just break structure and continue to the downside, or price can just continue up and make a move up here first. And then maybe after a move up there, then we possibly can get that sell off. It's still possible because overall, based off of the weekly, the daily, you know what I mean? We still are in a downtrend. Here on the daily, you could clearly see we've been in this downtrend for a minute. All right. Lower lows and lower highs. You can see that clearly. All right. So chances are price don't want to hold here and give another wave down. Price could possibly give one more move up towards this level of structure, lower high structure as well as resistance, and then possibly give us that sell off. All right. So those are two different scenarios that I'll be looking for on EU. All right, now looking at GU, GU as well gave a bounce from a major level of demand, going in line with the weakness of the dollar that came in. So if I look at this on the weekly, you can see how price came down to this level of demand, strong level of demand or support, where price had a big rise to the upside. Price came down here, found and formed a bullish engulfer here on the weekly. That's a sign of buyers being in control, and it's likely that price is going to continue up. That's what it did. All right. We can see how the monthly is developing. The monthly has a strong rejecting candle. So this is closing in 2 days. So with a price candle like this on a monthly, chances are we're going to see an even bigger move up. All right. So the bigger move is possibly still to the upside for the next coming months. But we still have to see how this week play out to see if price want to pull back first some to the downside or what. But if this candlestick closed like this on a monthly, big bullish pin bar, all right, chances are that long term we're going to see a similar move to this. You know, we're going to see price have a bigger move to the upside. All right. But going within this week, we can see price made his move up. Now we're coming into interesting points because this is something that I was looking at as well. Actually, I want to show y'all this. I sent this out. Let me see. I sent this out in the private Discord. And let me see where this is. So you can see right here. All right, in private Discord, I send out markups, I send out signals, and you can see I send out GU. Where is it at? One second. Right here. So right here, price was showing clear signs to continue to the upside, especially I saw how the dollar was selling off. I was looking for that retest. I was expecting a retest there and a continuation up. All right. And if you look at this, you could clearly see, that's exactly what price did. 1 second. You can see here that that's exactly what price did. Price did it right here. It was making higher highs in structure. It broke above this major level of structure. All right. Broke above the psychological level, 1.25, came back, retested it, found support, and continued up. All right. So that was the opportunity for last week. And again, just like with anything, we're looking left to go right. And if I look to the left, around 1.25, this is a major level to pay attention to. Here, looking here in the past, major level of demand here, right? Once price broke above this here, it retested here, found major support and bounced up. All right, so it was showing those same similar signs and understanding how the weekly was looking. This was the retest to go higher towards 1.27. Now, price is at an interesting point. It's a matter of, do I want to continue now or do I want to correct back down first? All right, looking at that monthly candle, I still like the signs of price potentially having a bigger move to the upside. And keep in mind how that goes in line with the dollar index. I showed you the dollar index looked like a bearish shooting star is forming on a monthly, which shows that it's a bigger move coming to the downside possibly in the coming months for the dollar. So this just goes inverse, because if GU is pumping up, that's going to align with the weakness of the dollar. Same thing with EU. All right. So it's either dollar is going to, let's say if GU continues here, let's say if it continues just to break above structure, then I would say continue to look for continued buy opportunities on the dips. All right. So it's either that will happen, or if price comes down, price could possibly, come down and have some type of sell off or some type of retest back down towards these structure levels before then possibly giving a continued wave. Now, if price was to come down here and not just retest, but break back below, then my bias will shift and I say, okay, we probably should start looking for a bigger wave back to the downside first. All right. So all we can do is just don't want to completely marry a bias, understand what the price is showing you, and then just react to trade what you see. All right. Just react and trade what you see in real time. All right. So EURCAD was another chart setup I sent out. And if we look at EURCAD on a weekly, EURCAD found support. If you look to the left, it's around these levels of support. All right. But EURCAD, it found strong support there on the weekly and bounced up. But if we look at the weekly to daily, price been in the downtrend. All right. We could look at this on a daily. You can see price, you see those lower lows and lower highs. All right. So it's best to trade in line with that downtrend. All right. But we could see right here at the price forming these lower lows, lower highs here, lower lows here. Then it found support. It found a level of support and bounced back up. All right. But on this bounce up, it's finding resistance at this same level of, basically this could be looked at as a big form of a lower high. All right. Because this is the main previous lower high. And then this level right here is like an equal level of a lower high potential. All right. Because this is the bottom it made of the lower low. So now, but just looking at price action itself, price found firm resistance from this level. So me personally, I will be looking for a potential continued sell-off to happen first before any potential reversal to the upside. Now, if this was to come up and just break these levels, then possibly that bearish bias could possibly be over. It could either possibly be over, or maybe you just want to retest structure one more time and then go. All right. But based off of what it did on a daily to 4 hour, just looking at this top, all right, looking at this level of resistance, you see when the price was here, it sold off. When price was here, bearish price action, signs for sell-off. All right. So for me, it's showing that same potential for downside. Yeah, the more times you see a level like this hit, the bigger the chance of it breaking that level. But the fact that we're still in the downtrend, I still like the possibility of one more wave to the downside at least. All right. Especially this price action here. Price had a rejection, slight pullback, and then you see, boom, another continuation down, breaking this structure. All right. So with that, I will look for potential continued move down. I will take my counter trend line here. All right. Now on this pullback, I would say either maybe possibly on this pullback, look for price to hold and then look for a continuation down. Either that, or if price just like say it pulls back and then boom, it continues down again. That's even stronger because now it's firmly breaking this trend line. And then you could just look for your next opportunities on the next pullbacks for another wave down. All right. Because looking at the daily, I will look for price to hold below this daily candle. All right. Firm, strong close on the daily. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. EURCAD, potential move down. All right. So looking at EN. So this was a really good setup for us. Looking at this on the weekly. All right. If we look at this on a weekly, price came to a major previous level of structure. If we look to the left, all right, if I look in here, all right, if I'm looking at this level, in the past, looking left to go right, this was once a level of support, right? A level of support, turn resistance. Once it broke, you see it found, now it's rejecting through this level strongly. You see all these wick rejections on the weekly. Seeing a candle like this candle is a strong indication that price is going to continue its rejection to the downside. And then these next weekly candles still had firm rejections of that level. All right, let's see how the monthly candle's developing. Strong wick rejection. All right. So from a top-down analysis approach, it's looking like everything is setting up for a potential continued rollover. So if we go down to the daily chart, that weekly candle close, nice pin bar rejection. Now the daily chart, I was able to catch some of this sale. I sent it out to my group. Some of them were able to catch it. You can see right here. Right here, we do have a student that was able to catch right here $533 from that trade. All right, so it was a good setup that we were able to capitalize on. So now understanding the higher time frames is going to make your job a lot easier. Okay, so now that we understand that, going into this week, my bias is still bearish. All right, I'm still looking for continued sales. So looking to the left, this major previous level of support, you see prices now firmly breaking back below this structure. Broke below, this was the retest, this is the continuation move. This right here, this candlestick, previous daily candle, closed bearish engulfing. All right, so that's a sign of more sales. Right here on this retest, we got bearish engulfing, right? So you just trade what you see in line with the price action. So seeing now in the daily, that's a good sign. Let's go down to the 4 hour. You can see it more clear. Boom, you can see our price was breaking down, pull back, lower high, break down. This was another retest of this level. On this retest, this was the drop that we got that went in line with the NZD rates that came out. All right, rate decision came out, volume came in, it sold off here. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to, if you miss impulsive moves like this bearish engulfing candle came out, wait for the pullback. So really, this pullback here was the opportunity. I was looking to take sales up here on this pullback. All right. That's where I was looking to take sales on that rejection. And then now I'm expecting this to continue down. So, but if you can measure that with the top of this impulsive down to the low, you see price roughly pulled back 61.8. 61.8 rejection, boom, had that rejection to the downside. So understanding the daily bearish engulfing, understanding the 4 hour, I'm expecting more sales. So this is what I would look for in early in the week. Is either I would say, we'll catch a pullback right here. So I could take my trend line here too, around that lower high or that rejection. So I would either say, wait for this pullback. On this pullback, if price want to pull back like this, catch this pullback entry for a move down. All right. Either that or price don't pull back like that. Let price break structure right here. Price break structure here. Look for price to pull back or retest. If you get a pullback or a retest, look to take that entry. A lot of times, if I get no retest or no pullback, I take no trade. It's bet like no retest, no entry. On a lot of these setups, that's the motto. You know what I mean? So it's either wait for the pullback and then enter based off the daily bearish engulfing and expect that to hold, or wait for price to break the structure, pullback, retest, and then look for a bigger move down. Because based off the daily and the weekly, we could see price come all the way back down here, at least. And that lines up previous, looking to the left, that lines up with this level of structure. All right. So that's Euro NZD. Bias remains bearish. GBP NZD. So GN, similar. All right. Similar to EN. Was able to catch some of this as well. Now, if we look at this on the weekly, all right, we can see how the monthly's forming. All right. But let's look at the weekly. That's what I need to focus more on. So looking to the left, this was your previous level of like support. All right. Price broke that, came back and retested it. It became resistance there, had a big move down. Right. So this is the same type of scenario. Price, looking to the left, price slightly broke below. When you see when it broke below, it's still roughly in these demand levels. Look to the left, it's demand over here, right? So price basically came into those demand levels and rejected, boom, right? And bounced up. So now price came back to this level of structure where it had a retest for a continuation in the past. And that's what it gave us there. And you see here on this weekly close, we got an evening star rejection. This is, I will symbolize that at an evening star. All right. Nice indication of sellers or bears. All right. So my bias will still be bears going into this week. So now if I go down to the daily, boom, we saw the breakdown, and this also gave us a bearish engulfing. Okay. I erased some of my analysis, but I can actually show you this. If I can show you how it played out. So you can see I sent this out real quick. Let me go here. Real quick. Post on Telegram sometimes, some setups. So I sent this out on Telegram, and I mean not Telegram, TradingView, excuse me. Telegram as well though. The Telegram, free Telegram link is in the bio. I sent it out there too. But you can see here, price broke structure. Once price broke down, I was looking for some type of pullback or retest for continuation. Now, if I press play, yes, price slightly pulled up a little higher, but it still gave us that pullback I was anticipating for that continuation down, and the continuation move I believe is setting up. All right. So now if we go back here, it gave us that move. Okay. So now what can we look for next? I'll take my trend line back here, measure out my lower highs within this structure. Boom. So now I would say one or two things. One or two ways I would look to trade this. Similar to EN. Wait for some type of pullback on this pullback or retest. Look for your continuation setup. Look for the retest or the pullback. Possibly to retest that trend line or some type of corrective move, and then look to sell the breakdown. I'm expecting this bearish engulfing on the daily to hold. That's what I would look for. All right. And then we'll see how that happens there. And you can also look to the left. This was a previous level of like major support here to the left, major demand right here, right? So that's how you can look. Price could possibly pull back and retest around roughly in there. That's roughly around, if we look at this, if I want to even this out, round this up, that's roughly around the psychological number of 0.94, roughly around there. All right. So if price want to roughly pull back somewhere in there, right? Somewhere around that level, and then look for the breakdown. All right. And continuation. So that would be considered a retest of structure too, because that's still a previous level of structure that plays as support. And that also became resistance here, you see? All right. So that's just another way to look at it. All right. But overall, this week, I'll say look for continued sales on GN. USDJPY, we were able to catch some pips on this. But now UJ is at an interesting point, especially dealing with the dollar. So we got to see how the dollar and even JPY is going to develop this week. All right. JPY has been a bit back and forth lately. So if I look at this on a monthly, from a monthly perspective, you know, we see we getting a nice rejection on a monthly. Closes in, you know, about 2 days, just about. And now if we see, we got this breakdown, right? Price found the top on the daily. Price found this double top and had a nice breakdown of structure. All right. So really, we broke below this higher low right here. You can see it more clear if we go down to the 4 hour. All right. So here on the 4 hour, we did break below right here. So on this break below, typically I would look for this retest and continuation. So price did retest, pull back, and then drop some, but it's been choppy right here. All right. So now going into this week with UJ, I would say look for this, one or two things. I would say either let price right here, either let price continues to break below structure, forming a lower low, and then just, continue to sell the pullbacks. Or, price could, if price was to break above, strongly break above structure here, with the impulsive move to the upside, then that could be a sign that price is going to, roll to the upside. And that would invalidate sales for me. So to hold my sell bias, I would need to see a firm rejection, continue breaking down, breaking structure, and then look to continue maybe a pullback and then catch that continuation down. And then based off of the daily, just this, we can see this come back down here roughly into around 125 roughly. All right. So see how that developed. A lot of times, I usually don't trade Sundays. A lot of times, normally I like to see how the Monday daily candle close on certain pairs. That'll tell me what to look for, because based off the higher time frames, how I trade, I'll trade from a daily perspective, and I like to catch the move. And a lot of times the cycle can move several days in a certain direction. All right. So I like to play it by that. So we'll see how this develops, and just be patient on UJ. I believe there are better setups right now than UJ. All right. And looking at EJ. So all of these JPY pairs are at interesting levels. At first they had strong sell-offs, like EJ had if I look at this even on a monthly, boom, from this same level of supply, price had a strong rejection. All right. But now it's recovering. Okay. I could look at the weekly, strong rejection, but now it's recovering. All right. So this is going to look like a recovery before any more move to the downside. So this is a key point to pay attention to on EJ, because now looking at this on a daily, boom, breakdown, pull back, continuation down. Now price is pulling back after that breakdown. So this point of structure is a point to pay attention to. Really with this, I want to see how this daily candle close. I want to see how the Monday daily candle close, looking at EJ, looking at UJ, right? Looking at some of these JPY pairs and a lot of these pairs really, because this level right here will be a level that price could be a break or bounce level. Or a breaker rejection level for EJ, because this is a previous level of structure. Looking to the left, support, right? This was a nice sell I caught before on this retest. Boom, we had a drop. All right, but you see price came right back to that level, rejected again, came back. So now it's ranging a little bit right here. So it's looking for the next move. Now price comes up and breaks above this level, then we probably going to get a bigger move up, maybe to retest these levels before you get any more sales to the downside. That's a possibility. All right. Or, all right, if price does give a strong rejection, strong 4-hour and daily rejection from this level, all right, we could possibly get that continuation move down from there. All right. So that's just something to pay attention to, because this could possibly be a lower high setup. This is the peak. This is the right shoulder of the lower high. Now, how far does this want to pull back? I could draw my fib from this top, all right, to the low that it made. From a daily perspective, it already pulled back 61.8. So do we want to pull back higher? Maybe say 8.6, maybe a little higher and like equal out. That's possible. So we just got to trade what we see based off of price action. All right. So from this level is either break above, maybe a higher pull to these levels, and then maybe a sell-off, or look for a rejection, strong rejection, catch the pullback, and then maybe catch that next wave breaking down there. Okay. So with this, I'm more so sitting on my hands, seeing how price develop. And keep it from there. Just trade what we see based off that. And lastly, ending it with GJ, similar, you know what I mean? Looking at the monthly, highest price went the highest it's been since Brexit, right, in 2016. All right, so this is the highest it's been in like 6 years. So it's, and after that, it had a nice sell-off. Look at the weekly, strong sell-off, right? Came back all the way back down to this level of structure here. Previous level of resistance or supply, found support and bounced. All right. So again, at previous levels of structure, you find opportunities. So you just react to what price does once it gets to these structure levels. Once the price action, react to the price action you see. So now you can see price is at an interesting point, similar to EJ. Is price setting up for a continued move down, or is it going to give us a bigger corrective move up before any more sales? That's a possibility. All right. So we got to keep that in mind. So now looking at this on the 4 hour. All right. This is a breaker rejection type scenario. You see the price will have a strong, firm rejection here, forming a lower high. And then we look to trade in line with that. Or if price does pump past this level, that's why I want to really wait until like Monday, Monday daily close or later in Monday to see how price develop. All right. And then because if it pumps above here, possibly we can get a continued move up before any more sales. All right. So EJ, GJ, I'm more so being patient, letting things play out. EN, GN are probably high for me right now. EU, GU, just seeing how some of these pairs develop. You don't always have to be in the trade. If I don't see the opportunity, then I just won't take the trade. So let's just not force it. Let's let things come to us. Let's be patient. And let's see how things develop. Be sure to like or subscribe if you are new here. Tap in with the free Telegram. The link and everything will be in the description. And free Telegram, I send out free projections. I send out trades I'm looking to personally take. I don't always really give the signal. I might throw a free signal here and there, but if you're looking for the exact take profit target, exact stop losses consistently, that is in the private VIP Discord, or also where I'll do live sessions. I have trainings, training videos, different things like that you could tap into. So tap in with that as well if you're looking for that mentorship. But other than that, tap in with the free Telegram. Let's win. I'll keep everybody up to date, whether you're in the free Telegram, whether you're in the private Discord. All right. So let's make it happen. And y'all be blessed. Let's catch these pips.